Guys, I'm very pleased after four and where we've changed a lot of tactical topics, a lot of. There we go. I think that's changed a lot of what we're trying to push on the pitch, that phase of the game, and we were able to put it to practice. So what I find with this group is now that I know how hard they work, I know how committed they are to each other on the pitch, I know how hard they want to make the fans proud. What I also learned today is how intelligent they are, right? How they were able to take a lot of our video sessions and some of the work we've done on a pitch in segments, and after 4 days, put in a performance like that at a tough moment for us in the season, at a tough place to play against a good opponent. So I'm very positive, even though we're disappointed with the result, and certainly we need to use this as momentum to continue to propel us to get better and better.
So would you say everything you've asked has been implemented today? If so, what was the bit that ended up alongside it?
Well, during the match, I can see, I don't know, every moment, little things where we can be a little bit sharper and clearer with our tactical understanding with and without the ball, and our movements, what can be a little bit sharper to help us gain advantages or to control the movements of the opponent a little more. But for the most part, we from just the basics, it was quite good. And then for me, if we find the first goal, then it's a different kind of match. And so just a little bit sharper in the last third, a little bit clearer with relationships, and then we would, I think, on the day, and maybe luck, and maybe then we find ourselves a lead and some points.
You went with Tyler Roberts towards the end and not Patrick Bamford.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind the decision then, Jesse?
Patrick was maximum 10 minutes. So I wanted, obviously we want to get him on the pitch as quickly as we possibly can, but I felt like we needed to make a change before that 10-minute mark. And then, of course, we put Tyler on the pitch, and then he has this weird collision in the box, and it leads to him having a little bit of a hamstring strain, and then we're almost playing a man down for the last phase. But Patrick is back in training. He will continue to progress more and more and more. We'll get him fitter and fitter and sharper, and then we'll be able to rely on him on these last 11 games.
Do you see him being available for Thursday, whereas looks like Tyler probably won't be? Would that be a fair assessment? Yeah, I would. Yes, I think that's true. We'll see what exactly is going on with Tyler. I don't think Patrick's ready to be on from the start. Let's see how the week goes, but certainly, yeah, I think he'll be ready to put in some minutes come Thursday. Thanks. Yes, Graham.
Jesse, will you try and introduce more new ideas this week, or is there not enough time? Will just be repetition?
Well, I think it'll be more about creating clarity with the things that happen in the game that can be a little bit tighter and better understood, but at the same time, really to in a tough moment in a big game, where there's stress in the moment. I thought that their ability again to execute was really good. So, like I said, there's so many little things that go in that are happening on the pitch that can just be a little bit cleaner. But this will take a little bit of time for me to implement it fully. But again, what a great first step! Really, what a great first step.
You've got options in the midfield. You have Dallas or Forshaw. Why did you go with what you have?
This was the group where most of them were able to train through the week and work through things on the pitch a little bit. So I spoke to Adam before the match and told him, just because, the fact that he wasn't able to train throughout the week, and we had a few other guys that were only had modified training, that we needed to put as many players who were 100% on the pitch from the start as we could. And I'm pleased with every single performance from every single guy. So, yeah, listen, I mean, I've been watching these games. These guys, they run and fight and work for each other so much. And I'm just trying to help them understand how to guide those efforts to help each other and to play as a unit.
Aaron? Jesse, we saw at the end there, you got the players and all the staff together in a huddle. What were you trying to say to the players at full time in that moment?
It was a real simple message, that this was very positive and a big step in the right direction. And I know that the stress of the situation in the moment is that they know they want to get points, and they have such a desire to achieve for the fans and for each other. But again, I think with me in a fresh perspective, I need to continue to feed them the right kind of information. I want to be positive with them, but not just for the sake of being positive. I want them to know how strong that was, how good that was, and we're going to use it as momentum to help us continue to get better.
There were a few decisions for the referee to make in and around the Leicester penalty box. What was your take on it?
It seemed like, from what we saw, we thought Rodrigo was a penalty, but I don't confess to be a referee.
Phil, when you have the ball, Jess, what are you asking of your front four? Because it was very limited.
Well, it was, but I think they can even be better connected. Like, I want coordinated movements from the front guys. And so, when we get into build-up phases, I want them to understand their positioning. I want them to always also be ready to be in counter-pressing positions. And then I want them to understand what the relationships are with each other so that they can start to have it become second nature and rely on the fact where they can find each other on the pitch. So I feel like in many phases of the game, when we had the 4, 5, 6 players around the ball, that the behaviors and the movements were good with and without the ball. But then if we were to look at the whole group overall and some of the players that were furthest away on the pitch, that we still need to work on the discipline and the understanding of what the tactical relationships are in those moments. Overall, though, again, very, very strong first performance for us.
Rayner?
Jesse, you could be away from the games. You've seen that pushing away the chances has been a bit of an issue recently. How much do you do on that in the short term before the?
I think we've worked hard to create relationships when we get in the last third to understand what the roles are and where to expect to attack, what areas to attack. And then the last part is we've just got to relieve the stress a little bit. This is what it's like a little bit when you get into the last third and things haven't gone our way. But I told them, if we keep playing like this, we're going to get all the points we need.
And inevitably, when you're trying to build relationships and that sort of thing, is it something that's just going to take time and just going to be a bit patient with that side?
Of course. But again, if I just draw on my experiences, right, for 4 days, after 4 days, and they had to sit through some long video sessions, and they said that they were used to long ones already. I think Marcelo used to do a lot of very detailed video sessions. The video is really important, right? And then helping them understand exactly what tactically we're trying to achieve, and then to go out on the pitch and try and work on the timing and the relationships and the against the ball and with the ball. Even set pieces, I think that's one of our probably, I haven't seen every game this year, but for us, that was a very effective and dangerous set piece day for us with it, against and with. So, the only negative is the result, really. There's so many positive things to come out of that. And I have to be very clear with them that that's exactly what it is. We have to see it for exactly what it was.
One more at the front there.
Yeah, just those Leeds fans that may not have seen much of Salzburg and Leipzig when you were there, is this your philosophy? Is this how you set up your team?
Yeah, listen, sometimes we'll press a little bit higher. Sometimes we'll press a little bit deeper. Sometimes we'll play with a different formation. Sometimes with the ball, we'll create different kind of build-up actions. And ideally, for me, it's about understanding the principles of what I think the game should be, and then implementing it with our players who I believe have the types of qualities to play the way that I like. And then help them understand how to, again, be clearer and clearer and use all their energies to benefit each other and themselves. So really good first step. I think, the intensity at which we run and fight and go into tackles and counter press and play into transition. Those are elements for me that are very important to the way that I would like our team to play football.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.